A genocide is killing someone for their nationality, ethnicity, race, or religious beliefs. One of the most famous is the one known as the Holocaust. The Holocaust was a movement led by Adolf Hitler. The main target were the Jews, but other people were affected as well. He started the Holocaust with the idea that the Aryan race should be the superior race, and anyone who didn't belong to this group of people shouldn't be treated as one. He created an army called the Nazis. This army was in charge of exterminating anyone who didn't belong to the Aryan race. They deprived them of their rights, putting them in concentration camps, working them to the bone, and torturing them to death. Around 17 million victims were killed during the Holocaust.
There have always been disagreements between the majority Hutus and minority Tutsis, even though they share many cultural aspects. The Belgians consider the Tutsis to be superior to the Hutus. Not surprisingly, the Tutsis welcomed this idea, and for the next 20 years, they enjoyed better jobs and educational opportunities than their neighbors. Therefore, resentment among the Hutus gradually built up, culminating in a series of riots in 1959. An estimated of 8,000 Rwandans were killed in the space of 100 days. In the Guatemalan genocide, General Efrain Rios Montt came to power in Guatemala through a coup in March 1982. A month later, he launched a scorched earth operation against the country's exiled Maya population. Under Rios Montt dictatorship, the army and its paramilitary units systematically annihilated over 600 villages. He ramped up the campaign of violence against mostly Mayan rural communities in order to make way for large-scale farming, mining, and hydroelectric programs which were occupied by these communities.
Women are often discriminated in their jobs. They receive lower salaries than men and are often denied jobs just for being women. The actual statistics say that every day around 9 to 12 women are murdered. People with disabilities are often excluded and sometimes even denied education. Sadly, they are not treated as other people even though they have the same or even more capacities as someone who isn't disabled. Senior citizens live by the stereotype that at a certain age they become unable to do different stuff, which is why they get fired from their jobs and sometimes even their families kick them out of their homes and send them to asylums where they are not treated properly. Indigenous people are often discriminated because of their skin color. They are considered inferior because of their language, cultures, and traditions. This community is discriminated because of their sexual orientation and gender identity. They are often denied jobs and some civil rights like marriage and child adoption. People are getting killed because of their preferences and the lack of tolerance on Mexico towards this community.
We think that the ruler of the levels of violence is an easy and effective way to measure violence, as it is thoroughly explained. Neither of us consider ourselves to be violent people, although we experience negative emotions such as anger. However, we believe in reasoning and thinking things through before acting out. In addition to that, we also don't consider ourselves victims of violence, although we have experienced violent actions in past times. Finally, we don't consider any level of violence to be tolerable, excusable, or acceptable, as minimal as it is. We believe there must be zero tolerance to all forms of violence in order to create a safe and peaceful environment for all.